Welcome, Josie Tyabji, to the Good Wine Gal podcast. When we talk about architecture of the BC wine industry, Josie's name is right up there as one of the foundational members. For decades as a leader at Arterra, pivotal roles at iconic estates like Jackson Triggs and Ink Meep Cellars. You've been shaping industry through policy, through vision, through strategy, and honestly, you're one of the powerhouses that's hidden away at the District Wine Village behind the sign of Gneiss Wines, Gneiss spelt G-N-E-I-S-S. And so it's just a great privilege for me to have you on the podcast today in my exploration of BC wine history, and the women who have shaped it. So welcome.
Oh, thank you, Barb.
How's it going today? Like, you are where? Where are you?
Oh, I am actually in the cellar of our winery, Gneiss Wines here, and just came out to, meet with some people and do a few things and, kind of help out along the way here.
Right.
Yesterday, we were here actually going through blends. We've actually decided to blend up and bottle our Pinot Noir and another pendulum red blend. And so we were tasting through some samples and things are looking fabulous. 2025 was amazing, both in
Yeah.
terms of quantity and quality and all of the things that come together at a perfect season. And so we're really celebrating a lot of those releases right now. And the crowds have been great too. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, lots of people roaming around the Okanagan.
Yes.
I've heard it's kind of a bumper year for winery visits, for
Yes.
tourism.
It's been
So this
great.
is great. It's great
Yeah.
news because
Yeah, it is. The buy
haven't
local
we had a
movement
bit
is
of,
really strong.
right.
Yeah.
Haven't we had a bit of a struggle?
It's been interesting for sure. So I think this is my 42nd year.
No,
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So
42nd. You're not
yeah,
that
well,
old. You're not that
what's really
old.
it's really funny because I grew up on a little farm in Kelowna. And my dad was, at Kelowna Wines, and he was a vice president. And we had a lot of things related to wine. He used to throw little garden parties with all of the people from Kelowna Wines, and that's he actually brought on Howard Soon way back when. And I remember him just as a young wine person starting out as well, and very casual garden parties with wine. But he really always wanted to own his own winery. And so, when he acquired in 1984 a little winery down south here, that was really the beginning of my journey into wine. And it's not like something I ever grew up thinking, oh, I'm going to spend my life in the wine industry. You don't really know when it just becomes your life journey, your vision, your path. And along the way, that's just how it happened, tagging along with my dad and finding my way through.
So dads matter. I
Oh,
really
yeah, they
think
do.
there's someone in your life. If you're in this there's someone in your life who brought you along or shared
Inspired,
with you some magic.
definitely.
What do you think the magic about wine is for you, for women?
I just find it so vastly diverse in terms of the opportunities to express your own style and personality. And along the way, it's so interesting how we explored, different rootstocks, different clones, different soil types, different methods, different growing. And then that's just the beginning on the farm. And then you bring it into the winery and you start all over again, whether it's a yeast or the temperature of your fermentation or, the barrel or no barrel or, all of these types of things that you're trying to bring out the best expression of the grape. And the best expression of the grape can also then be unique and different to every person. So for me, that has been definitely the most inspiring part of continuing this journey. And so that's really what keeps, I think, everybody going in terms of a lifetime of exploration.
So, yeah, so just to be clear, if I understand correctly, you weren't always making wine.
Yes, I was involved in every aspect of making wine, from working with winemakers in the, stages of the cellar, and all through the process of, malolactic fermentation, all those types of things. However, I did spend the initial part of my journey in vineyards. Well, actually, I should say the second phase, because our first phase was replanting the Okanagan Vineyards vineyard, which we acquired, which had been abandoned in the Golden Mile. It was 25 acres. So that was my first journey into replanting. Growing up, we had fruits, we had orchards, we had grapes, we had on a smaller scale. Then we went to 25 acres of replanting this abandoned vineyard, where we planted, I believe, the first cab ever in the South Okanagan back in 1989.
Wow.
Records are kind of, but I'm sure it was, because it was even before this whole free trade replant. And so we did that in two phases. So that was the first journey in trying to, import plants from France, and going through how do we import these vines, and, what nurseries do we use, and everything was new. So there weren't any big scale importations of vines. The research station was still involved with creating our own Okanagan versions of, hybridized types of, these will last the winter type things. So we went through this whole journey of reinventing ourselves. And so when we came out with our very first, I think it was 1993, single vineyard Cab Sauv at $25 a bottle, and released that, it wasn't too far after that we got the attention of Inniskill and Niagara, which was the first estate winery in Canada, who had just been acquired by Vincor. And they really wanted a premium Okanagan estate. And so first Beller approached us, and same thing, they were looking at it. But really, when they approached us, it wasn't really in our plan. It wasn't in our plan at all. But their vision for the opportunity to really create this amazing viticultural expansion in the South Okanagan was very inspiring. And Don Triggs's vision for what we could do, we were 25 acres. He was talking about 1,000 acres, and all of the things that he was talking about doing, like bringing over Groupe Taillon from Bordeaux, and partnerships with, Australia and Bordeaux and Burgundy, and all of the global inspirational and technical knowledge that was brought over at that time, at the end of the 1990s, was something that then I was so excited to get on board for. So it was a big family decision, for sure, because it wasn't our plan. But once we were invited to come along on that journey, it was very, very exciting, for sure.
And so a couple of really salient things just to tag on to that is Don Triggs was masterful with vision, confidence, determination, and it must have been something to work alongside him. I mean, I only knew him kind of in 2015 with the interaction of Culmina. But this was after all this other historic foundational work had been done. And, he was the kindest, most generous guy. He would do the deliveries. He would show up. He'd shake your hand. He didn't know me. I'm nobody. Like, I'm Barb. But he never had a tier. He never had a criteria to meet you or speak with you.
Yeah, very true. He was a Manitoba farmer, and that's where he came from. That was his roots. Yeah, and he had a twin brother, and just a everyday guy. But he'd come out west in his cowboy boots, and off we'd go to walk the fields. And so charming,
so charming,
for sure.
So maybe that's a good time just to. Well, first of all, I opened this up because this is not cab. Whoops. But I just love, so Gneiss, everyone can see Gneiss. And this label's gorgeous. It's on almost all the bottles, isn't it? A consistent label like this.
Yeah, this is our single vineyard series, although we do have some blended reserve wines as well. So we have two labels. So we have our everyday label, which is the black one with the outline of McIntyre Bluff, which is the beautiful, nice rock mountain,
Beautiful.
kind of at the gateway into Oliver Soyuz area. And that's the everyday series of black label. And then this is our reserve series. And this is the label that was painted by my husband, Mike, that sits in our wine shop.
And whenever we hear you say we, it's usually Mike and Christine that we are weeing.
Right. Yeah, I know. You know what? It's funny. My entire life in the industry, I've always said we, because I truly believe that no one person, no one company, no one anything can do any, like achieve what we've achieved as a British Columbia wine industry. And I truly believe that.
It's a community.
It is a community.
But also, I love your love story. So first of all, cheers, darling.
Cheers.
I'm really looking forward to sipping this, which I haven't. The aromas are fantastic. I'm like cherry jubes, but it's like vinous, so it's not just candy. It's more like
yeah. And then I get a little bit of cranberry, especially yeah. Yeah, it's a much deeper, darker rosé. We have a Pinot Noir rosé, which is a great patio wine, any summertime wine. And then this, to me, is a more substantial rosé that becomes more of a food rosé. It's, gearing up towards the chillable red type of, a lighter version of something that you would really love to enjoy.
So mouth-filling, full-bodied, not sweet. This is dry, fruit forward, lots of flavor. So you want flavorful dishes with this, like paella or, pizza of any kind, really. Something on the patio with a cheese tray and some charcuterie.
Definitely.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah. And you can roll right into the Thanksgiving turkey dinner.
Oh my God, cranberries. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And this finish is very good. There's a lovely balance. I didn't actually look to see the alcohol content, but I'm feeling like the balance is all lower.
It's like 13 and a half or so.
Yeah. So it's anyway, full body. I love this. I love the way it feels on my palate. The color is definitely celebratory.
Yeah, it's got more skin contact than our Pinot Noir Rosé, like 9-10 hours skin contact. So
So this is this 2025?
This is 2025, and it's the first time we took our Tempranillo and shared it with our rosé. And so we planted out the Tempranillo starting in about 2019, I think it was, just as we were building our winery at the village here. And we really like Tempranillo as a very interesting, unique varietal. So, we had Cab, we had Merlot, we have Pinot Noir, we have the traditional Bordeaux blends and the Burgundy varieties, and then into, So, but really, when we had been to the Vancouver Wine Festival, when we've been to Europe, we like Tempranillo. And so we thought, let's add that into the portfolio because it's super interesting and it's a variety that we really came to enjoy. So, and very suited to the Naramata Bench Vineyard. And we have some in the village as well. So between the two.
The invasion of Spanish grape varieties in the Okanagan. I don't know if you want to say that, but we've got Verdeo, we've got Albarino, we've got Tempranillo, we've got I don't know, maybe there's a Menthia I've heard is planted, and Grenache or Garnacha, which is origins are Spain.
That's right. So, yeah.
There's 5.
Yeah, and we're lucky being down like this far south, which of course most people who have reds and they have their varieties down here. Most of the vineyards in British Columbia are planted in the South Okanagan, and regardless of where the wineries are located, their vineyards are down here. So it's nice to have that opportunity to explore. And most of our wines are 200 cases. That's it. So very small crafted lots. And each year we try and really take one variety that is showcasing really well and make that into its own blend or single varietal. So we did a Syrah Cab once, and last year in 2022, it was a single vineyard Cab Sauv. and 23 was the Tempranillo. So every year it's really nice to take something that's showcasing really well, because, with farming and, every year is a little bit different. So.
Well, I think this also speaks to, so you are at the District Wine Village,
Yes.
and the District Wine Village is 13 boutique wineries?
There's a craft brewer, there's a craft distiller, there's a French bakery, and then there's a coffee shop where they, roast and grind their coffee here. So we do have some others. We have a full restaurant, and we have a lot of events and things that go on too. And
Yes.
so yeah, music, it's always focused on local. Everyone in the village here is BCVQA, and I know some people don't know what BCVQA is. It's just
Right.
your, authenticity and your certification that it's 100% British Columbia, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
And so we've really stuck to that premise here in the village, and everything's local. So when we're bringing in music and when we have food and all those types of things, we really support local. And that to me has been, for me personally, in my life, it's always been, growing up on a farm, that your neighbors are relying on you to really kind of make a go of the community. And so I've held that true belief. And why not? Like British Columbia, what do we have or what do we not have, really? You can get pretty much anything that you need here. So why not?
So it just makes me think of how I really got to know you. And that was last year. I reached out to Wines of British Columbia and I said, I want to go meet some women in wine and I want to meet some wineries I haven't interacted with before. Like I might have, but like not sat down with them, not kind of visited with them. And you said, "Oh, do you need a place to stay?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And next thing you know, you made it possible for me to be on Naramata Bench and to be down in the south and to be
Sure.
able to journey throughout all of the places and spaces where I had the chance to meet other amazing women. But if I could just express, this is who you are. You are a hand holder. You connect all the hands of all the people around you and me, and you make it feel absolutely natural that this is how we work together. Like,
And we should. Yes.
well, yes, and like, well, don't I love that? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a winery. I do have a bar.
It's a
I
nice
do have a
bar.
table. Come
I
on
love your
over.
bar.
Yeah. Yeah, Barb's bar. I'm
Yeah.
working on that. It's not going well. I
Yeah.
can't seem to
Yeah.
deplete the resources. I just
Oh,
have
geez.
endless supply of wine. And my wall of shame, which is what I call it, it's all empty bottles, just continues to grow. But
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
and my point about that is for anyone who has not visited the District Wine Village, it is an adventure. It's located, I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but
Mhm.
it really needs some accommodation so that people could like
Sure.
stay.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's on its way to something in between Okanagan Falls and Oliver. It
Right.
sits in the most incredible, mind-blowing place where those rock bluffs,
Yeah,
McIntyre
it's
Bluff over
beautiful.
here and that rock bluff that's right above.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I heard a rumor. So there's 8 wineries then and
Well,
five
right now
other.
I think there's 9 wineries
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's different premises. There's some wineries that move in for a couple of years and then, make their wines and then build their winery and move out. We have no intention of moving. There's a few others that are here for good. We just had one move out, and Tender Hope, who was at another winemaker's cut, came from
Yeah.
Lunescence in Summerland. So there's different ways that people either come in, stay, move out, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's transitional. But one thing we really do is share resources, share
Well,
our crush pads and
yeah.
all those types of things. Share machinery,
And
equipment.
you share this pedestrian zone. If you
Right.
were in Europe, it's kind of
Sure.
a center area where you could sit. But like, so because of you, I can't remember the band now, but I was at a concert and
Mm-hmm.
everybody, like, the thing was packed out and everybody's dancing, and I
Oh,
felt like
it's so much fun. It's
so
so much
much
fun. Yeah, the vibe
fun.
here is amazing and it's beautiful. The
Yeah.
amphitheater. I've had so many people who've come in and said, I had no idea this was
Yes.
beautiful, like so beautiful. And the lights come out, the stars come out, and just the vibe with the water features around, and now
Yep.
the landscaping's all grown up. So
Yep.
yeah, and yeah, so I mean, over time, our plan is to continue to build out. It's been an interesting few years. When we started building it, then COVID hit, and then it sort of went from there. So it's been the most interesting, I would say, 6 or 7 years in my 42.
Yeah. We say that we use the word interesting for like shitstorm.
But that's just the way it is, and you persevere and you push through and you all work together, and that's just reality.
But
So
I think this is what I see of the women in the industry too, is that they're not pushovers. If a fingernail breaks, they don't even think about it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there's
it
just
happens
this,
a lot.
yeah,
Lifting those 40-pound cases of wine.
yeah.
Yes, it does.
Like I run my bar here and it's very small and I'm not very busy and I have bruises everywhere. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop kicking those
It's
boxes.
so true. It's so
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, where'd you get that bruise? I'm like, I have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. Well, and the other thing is, you got to have food if you've got wine, don't you?
Yes, yes, yes. At least at a minimum, cheese, nice cheese
Yes.
plate, cheese pairing. I love just having any sort of little food bite.
Mm.
There's a nice restaurant here, Ward's. The chef, Ian, came from Inkimi Cellars. And so he moved over here from Inky Cellars, and brilliant chef. So he has the ability to create inspiring every day. And then when we go into the nice food and wine pairing seminars, he has the ability to really match up the wines nicely. And then fully into winemakers dinners, as you participated in the table
Well,
dinner the other evening, I believe. So
so hadn't seen you for a bit. Then next thing you know, I'm at this wine dinner in the vineyard at District Wine Village. I think they were gale force winds. So, my hair was like flat and my dress was blowing up and I was like not even wearing the right color and I could hardly hear because it was like, anyway, it, it, it,
yeah,
it was great.
yeah,
It was great in the way that it's so typically Okanagan.
it
Like
is.
if we were in France, and let's say there's a little breeze in Provence, but it's a
Sure.
little breeze,
Yeah.
I just loved it for all of its perfect demonstration. Like we couldn't put our wine glasses on the table because they would blow over and break. I
Right.
mean,
So
there you
we
go.
brought out one at a time out of the box. We
Yeah,
all survived, right?
yeah,
Everybody made it through. We had a lot of fun. People were
yeah,
dancing,
yes.
enjoyed the wines, shared the wines,
Live
shared great
music.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah. And it was
Exactly.
a very good demonstration of sort of the possibilities as we keep going forward,
Sure.
how to embrace this natural environment and invite people in. The people that I sat
Mhm.
with at the table I was at, they were from North Van and
Sure.
somewhere else, and they had met here, and this was like part of their summer. Anyway, they love wine to drink.
Sure.
They didn't talk about it the way you and I might, but they
Yeah.
had the best time, the best time.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so
Being
I thought
outdoor
that
in a
was,
vineyard, it's a
yeah,
beautiful setting.
yes, so well
For
done.
sure.
So, and I think we tasted something you poured, meritage,
I brought the Cabernet Sauvignon around, the 22
right?
Cabernet Sauvignon. That comes right from the tip, like basically where our vineyard was. It's just right there, Inkmeet Vineyards. I've personally been working with them for about 30 years throughout. And, they have a 300-acre vineyard plus. And yeah, so they
Big.
have lots of grapes to go around. And so we secured a little block there and we take very good care of it. And then we bring it in and make a couple hundred cases of Cab Sauv and put it into our Pendulum Red and also in our Chief Blend, depending on each year and what format we want to see. We blend it into the different. We always take our top 4 barrels out of the cellar every year. It might be 5 barrels, 4 or 5, depending, and make our Chief, which is our top wine,
Yes.
aptly named
Yes.
for the
Yes.
mountain there that a lot of people call the Chief. Some people call it McIntyre Bluff, Nikailinton. It's got a whole bunch of local names,
Clinton.
but I like to call it the Chief. It's got the headdress and the
Yes, it
face, and
does. It's an
yeah.
incredible,
Hmm.
to think about, like just to understand the geology of a place. Like, honestly,
Hmm.
we're in a very unique part of the world for sure.
We really are. It's so diverse, and so many times people are trying to identify, what variety should we grow, what should
Yes.
we be known for. It's an ongoing discussion all the time, and so many sites are so unique. Like, are you north facing? Are you south
Yeah.
facing? What type of
Yeah.
soil type? What type of elevation? And even you can see the change in the terroir as you drive from Kelowna down to the south, ultimately ending up with mostly cactus, sagebrush, and rattlesnakes
Right.
sometimes.
Don't get
Which
bit.
is always part of our vineyard training, by the way. Don't
I
reach
bet.
into those milk cartons until you look in first. So, yeah, yeah, definitely. So, but it's really rewarding, I think, over time to see some of the wine regions around the world, how they have come to recognize, albeit very small here, the opportunity for growing red grapes. And I always revert back to a really funny story when we signed our joint venture with Groupe Taillon
Okay.
and Soyuz the Rose back in the
Okay.
day. Yeah. And so we were planting it out. We were the people on the ground. They were meant to be like this technical resource for helping us understand how to grow the best wines, which we
Right.
super appreciated their experience and those types of things. But we had also been around for a while, so we had our own local experience.
Were they from Bordeaux?
Bordeaux, yes. Yeah, Groupe Taillon. Yeah, Gerard Larose. And so they had not sent over Pascal Nadavon yet. That's how
Oh.
Pascal got here. That's how Alain
Oh.
Sutra came over. Initially was through this relationship. Mr. Merlot, all of these people were coming back and forth, but nobody had really set feet on the ground here. So in the first vintage, we were taking responsibility for that because the winemaker had not arrived from France in a full-time position. And so I'm going to say about a week before we believed we should be harvesting, the calls took place and the readings were sent. And, we said we're targeting for a week from now. And, we're just letting you know, this is our interpretation of, our history and our knowledge and those things. And they're like, mon Dieu, no, we will wait.
You know nothing. You
We
know
will
nothing.
wait. And so anyway, so then 5 days later,
Oh, no.
and Bruce is starting to panic, and he's getting, he's like, well, we gotta. So he sends it again, right? And panic. Mon Dieu, we must get ready to get the grapes of the vine. We must do this quickly. You know what I mean? So,
well, I thought you were going to say the grapes were already harvested. We just didn't tell them.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, and that's the thing with joint ventures too. But not to say that we didn't learn a lot from everybody who came over.
Yeah.
We also had a guy named Richard Smart.
Oh.
And he came over from Australia, and he said, because we're in Canada and, we were going to plant that entire Soya Slate bench to Pinot Noir and Chardonnay and, whatever other. Yes. And within 3-4 years after, it was like Shiraz, Cab Sauv.
Yeah, it's too hot.
It's too hot. But, the assumptions that people have always made, even today, when you talk about when you go on holidays and it's like, oh, you're from Canada, it's so cold.
Yeah.
Like it's very cold there on every vacation you go. And, it is true that many areas, I mean, we're all along the border. Like if you look at Canada, the population of Canada is all along the southern border. And yes, when you get up north, but we don't really have enough volume anyways to really penetrate largely into any export markets on any scale where we, can really go at it. And, across Canada is great. We're working hard on bringing down the interprovincial borders. For us, British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, shipping across, those types of things would be great. And so, you know, a lot of the things that do bring credibility to the industry are winning these best in class at the best wine competitions in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what happened back, you know, in 2004. And so the Shiraz grapes came in. We actually had an Australian winemaker on our team. And in 2006, because it was a 2004 vintage, we put it into the International Wine and Spirit Competition in London. It won Best Shiraz in the world, got the Rosemont Trophy for the first time ever.
Ever.
So those were the types of pivotal moments, because, you
Yeah.
know, Mission Hill had won with their Chardonnay. Of course, Inniskill had always won with their ice wines.
Yeah.
We really moved up in terms of what people saw as our potential.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how we started to really gain credibility.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the other things that happened were the licensing rules changed. So you didn't
Yeah.
have to have 25 acres, you only needed 2. So
Yeah.
that opened it up to a whole new set of entrants. And so
Yes.
we saw it really multiply in terms of the number of wineries. I think 17 when I started, there's like 300 now, and all over the province, right? Like there's all these different sub
Yes.
regions and appellations. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think there was 5 when Gulf Islands and Vancouver were still regions back then. They still are now. But, you know, we've really expanded throughout every different part of the province. So it's really interesting, but I think people really are finding their way. Like the Jackson family, with the purchase of the Vancouver Island properties, are really honing in on the sparkling wine and the, you know,
Pinot
Chardonnays,
Noir
you know,
and
which makes
Chardonnay.
sense, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's nice when people are realizing, okay, we've done this, that, and the other, and we're really
Yeah.
starting to hone in on what we can do well.
Yeah.
And you see that
Still,
down in.
still trying to figure out how we shake that ice wine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with ice wine, but that's not the
No,
only thing we do. But it
yeah,
really,
and we rarely do it in British
no,
Columbia.
no.
It's very center of the universe.
Yes. Like I love ice wine, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, no,
that's
I
not the
know.
only thing. It's not
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. So
I'm
yeah,
having,
so I think we have a great support network, I think, with restaurants as well, which is a good shout out. You know, when we started out with the dine around programs, and we started out with the a la carte, you know, across the country and those types of things, we gained a lot of recognition, I think, for our ability to compete.
yeah,
And so, you know, restaurants have been good in terms of supporting us. And I believe the consumers recognize that, just like cherries, just like blueberries, just like everything else that we
yeah,
grow really well,
yeah,
we can grow great grapes and we can make great wines. And so
yeah.
that is something that I think we've earned, and we need to continue to help people understand as we continue to grow. So
Yeah, I believe that's my mission is just to try to demystify or debunk or open the door, open the big garage door to BC wine, to Canadian wine. But like
right.
it's not what you think.
Mhm.
Don't read the textbooks. They're outdated by 2 decades, you know?
Right.
And
Mhm.
from what I have witnessed, having been a buyer at Legacy Liquor Store, worked at Liberty Wine Merchants, Open Wine and Beyond in Kelowna, is that BC wine just gets better and better. And partly
Mhm.
because of technology, but also experience. Like,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
someone like you has this, you look at a vineyard with like, it's probably like a computer bang, you know?
Yeah, all throughout the season, we're looking at it basically to say, okay, where are we at month wise? What variety is this? What do we think we can go? Where we're at? You know, you're kind of slotting it into exactly that. What month are we in, and where are we at? So what do we need to do? And you know, we work with great winemakers. You know, Scott Robinson, Bertus Alberton. We get grapes from Bertus Alberton. He's been our winemaker. Scott Robinson's our winemaker, and together we collectively really chat a lot along the way about what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it's a great team effort, like with all of these resources. And, you know, you go back to the early days where people were actually putting plots of acreage, like 10 acres. You know, Mission Hill's done it, Jackson Triggs has done it. People have put them into the industry research and development plots, and really shared that through the research and development council that we have, that all of industry participates in. And I really do always, when I'm talking to people, encourage them to tap into that resource. Some people weren't aware that there's this resource, but we've been feeding it since, the late 80s.
Oh,
And so, into the 90s and all throughout. So
oh,
there's quite a history library of research in all of the different vineyards throughout the Okanagan. So,
yeah. I recently discovered that the UBCO has an archive, and I just posted today the
mhm.
1983 British Columbia capacity in gallons. And it
Oh,
listed the 8 properties or the 10 producers. It showed
sure.
how many gallons were produced. Like where were you in 83? Like, oh my God. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, and
Right.
now it's like it's so anyway. And then
Yeah.
there's this picture of this like farm truck and these like Concord grape baskets with grapes in it. I
Yeah.
was like, no, no, no. But that's
Yeah.
how far we've come.
Yes,
That's how far we
definitely.
come.
Yes, we have. Definitely. Yeah. Hmm.
So tell me what you're thinking this harvest is going. Like, where are we? Where are we today? What's
Well,
happening?
we had an early bud break, which is great. The crop is coming along nicely. The nice thing is we've actually had a lot of cool evenings. So it's been warm. It hasn't been too hot. I mean, we had one little spell, but generally speaking, it's been more consistently warm along the way. And so we're in a good place. We're in a good
Right.
place where we're going to have a nice long ripening season to be able to get our hang times, to be able to ease into the
Yeah.
fall without the stress of wondering whether we're going to be able to ripen or not. So
Yeah.
the varieties on everything. So, we're still early August, but
Yeah.
based on what we've seen so far, it's looking like, and crop levels too. And it's very interesting because I was talking to father-in-law person the other day from Alberta, and they were saying, well, I'm not sure whether it's worth touring because I'm not sure that there's lots of grapes around and that kind of thing. And so it's almost like this hangover from,
Yes.
light crop a couple years ago. It really got sort of communicated a little aggressively, but not enough people know, like, hey, we're back and we're back just the way we were back before. So,
Yeah. Well,
so we got to
there's a
continue
couple
to
of
spread
there's a
that
couple of
message too.
rumors. There's a couple of rumors. One is that BC wine has been destroyed with Washington grapes.
Oh,
I'm just like, come on,
yeah,
people.
no, we got lots of BC grapes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the other one is you know, it's too expensive. BC wine is so expensive. And I'm like, what are you comparing it
Yeah.
to?
That is a very, very good point to raise, because what I say to people is we only produce premium wines in British Columbia. And so if you're looking for an under $10 value wine, in a box or then a BC VQA wine is not your wine. And fair enough, like, no criticism
No.
whatsoever. But I actually go the other way and I say that BC wines are undervalued for their
Yes.
quality. They are, because people intuitively think, based on history, that French wines are better or Italian wines are better. But I can go head to head with any of those at any price point. And I believe that we over deliver because
Yes.
we are a younger industry. And so we have to over deliver on our
Yeah.
price point in
Yeah.
order to please the consumer, which is a very sad thing. But at any price point, I'm happy to compete head to head with any international wine. So,
Which is why I do the BC Wine Tasting Challenge, bottles
mhm.
in bags, blind
Yep,
tasting.
right,
It's BC Pinot versus French Pinot. It's usually France that we're up against,
right,
but even Syrah or Alsace or any of these.
sure.
And it
Hmm.
is remarkable to me that I can't get in. I mean, at some point, we're going to tip the scale. I know that's going to
Sure.
happen.
Yeah,
But until then, I just did a mapping of what the average price points for white wine, rosé, red wine, red blends, and
hmm,
bubbles are in British Columbia
sure.
compared to the international market.
Right,
And for some reason, we think a $50 bottle of Meritage is expensive if it's
right,
BC, but it's like a good deal if it's from Napa. You can't get Napa.
right.
For gosh
Yeah,
sakes.
or a Pinot Noir from Oregon. It's like
No.
$85 US, and we're
Yes.
trying them head to head going,
No,
I don't
people.
know,
Nope.
something wrong
So we
here.
need to open their minds, but
Right.
they need to taste. And they need
Yes.
to taste objectively, which is why I think if I can just keep slugging away and keep inviting
Yes.
people and keep doing the blind tastings, they're
Exactly.
going to be, because it's always an aha moment.
Right.
Because
It
it's
really
like,
is.
okay, which wine was the better wine in the flight?
Sure.
Oh, this one. Okay, which one
Yes.
was the BC wine? Well, it couldn't be the good one. It has to be the one that wasn't that good. It's like, that is the bias. That is the
Yes.
bias.
Yeah. And we used to do that all the time with our friends, all the time. And so, yeah, and we've done it for years. And we went so far as to actually put them all into the same bottle so that they couldn't like think like heavy bottle or whatever. Wasn't
Good,
like that at all. It was like,
good.
here you go. They're all labeled. We decanted them. They're all labeled. Now you choose. And so they had no insight at all from,
Yeah.
label or closure or anything. So
Well,
BC always came out on top.
the fact
Mm-hmm.
that you can still buy a $25 bottle of white wine from
Mm-hmm.
British Columbia, from
Yeah.
BC grapes in
Mm-hmm.
a bottle,
Right.
shipped to wherever is just unbelievable to
Yeah,
me.
it's great value.
Unbelievable.
I agree. I completely agree with you. And I'm doing the same thing. And people who come into the shop or in the wine store, they're always raving about, oh my gosh, this is great wine. And
Yeah.
and that's always been our mission to make sure that we deliver
Yeah.
at every price point. So we do competitive tastings on a regular basis
Yeah.
as well. So it's
Good.
important.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
the reason I chose good wine is because I said good wine is wine that drinks above the
Yes.
price you're paying for it.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's very difficult to do the BC Wine Tasting Challenge because the international bottles are double the price. They're $60
Right.
bottles of white. And you're just like, I can't, what? You know? Anyway, we could go on about that topic for a
Yeah.
while, but it is a
Yeah,
thing.
but I'm glad you raised that because I completely agree with you, is
Yeah,
that we need to continue to help the
work
consumers
on that.
understand
Yeah,
if they want a great bottle of wine,
yeah.
BC is a great bottle of wine. So,
Yes.
hmm.
And if you want to go taste wine in Napa, it's
Yep,
$35 a person to taste. You have to
yep,
book in advance. If you cancel,
hmm,
it's your fault. And there's no, oh, if
yes,
I buy a bottle, do I get a
yeah,
reduced rate? No.
right. Yeah, well, that is true because when people come here and we say if you buy a bottle, you get your $10 back. Really, we've just given them $10 worth of free wine.
Yes.
That's what you're doing because they've
Yes.
tasted that much, and
Yeah.
so they're getting a discount on your
Yeah.
bottle. So it
Yeah.
is a really great value when they're
Yeah.
going tasting and get a
Well,
refund
and
for it.
that's why, I mean, if people can't get everywhere, going to District Wine Village, you have 8 wineries. You can
Hmm.
spend the day. You'll never get around to all of them. The other
Right?
thing I always recommend, though, please spit a little bit because you can't taste
Yeah.
the 8 wineries and make it out of there alive. I
No,
honestly,
you have to spend a few days coming back and
yeah,
visiting, or
yeah.
come back another. When you come back, you have lots of other opportunities. So
Yes.
yeah, hmm,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
Hmm.
And when you go to District Wine Village, and no matter what's going to be happening, Nice Wines is going to be packed out. There's going to be dancing. There's going to be people in the front and in the back and inside, and it's like it's just
Yeah, and
indulging it's so much fun, so much fun,
it
and
is
always
fun.
something going on because of you.
Yeah,
So
and it's year round as well. So we put a skating surface in the middle in the winter. We have fire
oh,
pits, and yeah, and it's a lot of fun. So we open, Friday to Sunday on during the winter, and
love it,
you can come and skate around and
love
enjoy
it,
it as
love it.
well. Yeah. Hmm.
So, one last thing before we run out of time here.
Sure.
It's like, um, as a woman in wine,
Oh, yes. Hmm.
uh, advice to like, we have lots of young women who are
Yep.
sparked and curious by the whole
Yes.
business.
Yep.
Um, what might your advice to them be,
Just do
if
it.
any? Just do it.
Just do it. Don't let people get to you. Like we all know, you know, sometimes people come at you, they don't think you belong there, it's whatever those things might be. Just keep going. Just do it. and know that you belong there, and know that you have the ability to do whatever you want to do. So just go do it. And
Find
that's
a
what I've just
mentor.
done, is just
Yeah.
find a mentor. Definitely. Yeah. Mentors are great. Yeah, that is true. Definitely find a mentor, partner up with people, have meetings with people, align yourself with
Yeah.
people with similar beliefs and values. Definitely.
I think
But
that's a
yep,
really
just get
good
in there
point.
and
Yep.
yeah.
Values.
Yep. Values. Definitely.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And so, you'll learn some things. Sometimes things won't work out exactly the way that you want them to, but you just keep pushing forward and learn from those things, and you gain experience, and you just keep going. So that's what I've always done.
And here you are, 43 years later, a rock star,
Yes.
kind, generous, open, welcoming, and standing behind the counter at Gneiss Wines from time to time, or all the time. I don't really know,
Sure.
but yeah, but like
Yep.
go
Yep.
visit.
Yep. Out on the patio or behind the bar or at an event. There's lots of opportunities to
Lots
come
of
visit.
opportunity. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
Josie, just want to say it's lovely and thank you so much. And
Yeah, thank you so much.
hope we see each other again soon. So, cheers to
Yeah,
you.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
say goodbye. All right.
Okay, bye now.
I'll see you again
Have a good
soon.
day.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks.